of wandering, at the risk of getting lost or injured, right? So we establish the medical and behavior supports that a person requires, and then we get into the body of the assessment. And there we talk about all those things that are listed out there. So home living, community living, lifelong learning, health and safety, social activities, employment and protection and advocacy. And in each one of those areas, there are between 7 and 9 different activities that we'll talk about. So the home living section, for example. There we talk about what type of support does a person require for operating home appliances? What type of support do they require for housekeeping and cleaning? What type of support do they require for preparing food, for eating food? What type of support do they require for doing the laundry and food in the bath? So it's a very, very detailed assessment with very specific things that we're looking for, broken down to pretty much capture every possible scenario that this person's life. So we have to determine the type of support someone requires, how frequently they require the support, and on the day that they require it, the total cumulative daily support. So it's very detailed. We are able to get a very clear picture of who your loved one is and the support that they require to be successful. So this typically takes, as I said, between 3 and 4 hours to complete. If at any point during this or the application process you've had enough, you get tired, that's okay. We'll come back. We don't have to complete it in 1 or 2 sittings. Our staff are supported to come back as often as it takes in order for you to complete this process. We get it that it's long. We get it that it's overwhelming. So we're committed to coming back 2 or 3 or 4 times if that's what it takes in order to do this. And after we complete the application and the supports intensity scale, then our assessors create what's called an assessor summary report, or an ASR. And that's an 8 to 12 page document, narrative in nature, and it gathers the information that was collected during the application process. And then that's shared back with you. For your records, you can have it. You can share it with your workers if you wish. And that's our intake information there. So how to get a hold of us. When you call in, you ask for intake, you'll be redirected to Mary. That's my contact information up there as well. Should you need to give me a call for whatever reason.
When the transition happens between special services at home and passport, what type of weight are people now experiencing, and is that predicted to change?
So the question is related to, just so that everyone on this side can hear, the question is related to the wait time between special services at home and passport. I don't know. That's the best answer I can give you. So the DSO is not responsible for administering the passport program. Community Services Coordination Network is. So you have to apply to the DSO, and when the passport program has the ability to support new people, those people come from the DSO wait list. So they have to get a hold of the DSO, right? And then we would work with CSCN to match people to those resources. So it's no different than any other resource, whether it be a group home or self-support or day program. The resources that are out in the community right now are all being used. Resources typically only become available when someone no longer needs them,
Isn't the government already aware of how many people are waiting? Because most of these people were in receipt of special services at home or AECSD funding.
Some of them.
An extraordinary amount of them that would be eligible for this program. See, my son turned 18 in August, and I've been told repeatedly that there are absolutely no services coming, no respite care, and I'm kind of concerned about that. What I'm concerned about is the fact that your wages and everybody else's wages are taken out of the same pool of dollars that the respite care is supposed to be delivered from. Well, yeah, if there's $46 million assigned to the passport program or to DSO or whatever, your wages are coming out of that, and then delivery of the services at the very bottom of the tier, right? And this is what's happening. There are no dollars available. There's no funds available. And respite care is... I know. Well, you do work for somebody, though.
I absolutely do work for somebody. You're absolutely right.
And those dollars are coming out of the same pool of funds that are supposed to be there to deliver services to disabled persons. That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying that there's no services available because the money's being eaten up, right? Wait lists are 15 years, 10 years.
Absolutely. We are tasked with completing the provincial application and providing that statistical data to the ministry in order to operate those programs. The one thing that the DSO does do is it assists in that fair and equitable access to those services. So it doesn't matter that my daddy has a big fat checkbook. My daddy cannot walk into a local association for community living and grease the palm of that executive director in order to get me services. The highest priority community match to that resource, those most in need, are the ones that are getting those resources when they are available.
That's a big question, is when they're available. Is that, people should be told that there are no funds available.
We are doing our very best.
Because there are no funds available.
Because there are no funds available.
That's right. So what is there to do? This is why I'm here. I drove here to find out what there is to do beyond this point. I have a kid at home that can't wipe his arse, can't chew food, and I have to pay somebody $20 an hour out of my wages so I can come here or to go to work. So I'm concerned about this, and I'm concerned about what if I kick the bucket, who's going to pick up the tab beyond that? And this is what I'm concerned about. Who's going to deliver services? And if there's no services available, why are we paying people to deliver programs like this when there's no services? I'm concerned. Don't want to spoil anybody's trip here. Sorry about that. Yeah. Yes. But somewhere somebody has to have an answer, right? Somebody, you have to start somewhere and you have to find an answer somewhere, right? And even you should be concerned about what you're delivering to people, right?
But sir, I'm just the messenger. We are tasked by the ministry to deliver the provincial application and the assessment. If you don't like my answer, I can give you the Ministry of Community and Social Services.
I spoke to Ted McMeekin's office this morning, actually. So,
he would be the one. And guess what? He's like,
and-
call our office and
well,
find out in the Southwest region how many people are on the wait list so that he can then go to the government